Hello and welcome to a SEPPIC plant of Castres. My name is Loïc Deguet and I am the plant manager. I would like to speak to you in person so you can better understand how important and crucial the issue of safety is on the industrial site of Castres. At SEPPIC, safety standards really are our top priority and we feel it is our duty to enforce them. 10 times fewer accidents have been reported on our site compared to the national average. And this is not a sheer luck. This is the fruit of the safety policy we have enforced for the past few years. This policy has put the emphasis of the principles of risk prevention and workers' training, and we think that the involvement of every single worker at SEPPIC has played a vital role in producing such results. As you are about to step in SEPPIC, bear in mind that you enter in a world that meets high safety requirements. A set of regulation and precautionary measures have been set so that every employee can feel safe while working here. So when you come to SEPPIC, you commit yourself to abiding to those rules. That's why I count on your deep and personal involvement.
SEPPIC is a subsidiary of the Air Liquide Group, which is specialized in developing and promoting chemical and biological products designed to meet the requirements of a wide range of markets, including cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. Our up-tier Seveso establishment complies with very strict regulations and administrative provisions of the second Seveso directive, because we use and store chemical substances, some of which are highly hazardous. As I said, those safety measures are very strict, therefore you should know about them. This safety video will help you learn more about them. We would like you to watch and listen to this video carefully, for you'll be asked to answer a few questions at the end to see what you've learned and remembered. The scores you will have obtained at this test will determine whether you're allowed to have access to SEPPIC or not. Please keep in mind that this certification is valid 1 year. Thank you for your attention. We wish you a pleasant tour of our company. Once you've passed the test, you'll be given a temporary or permanent pass, which will grant you access to the site. You will have to walk through the turnstile using your pass. For those of you who will drive in, please bear in mind that your vehicle will be allowed in only if it's necessary for your work and only during the training period. Buzz the intercom and ask our watchman to let you in. The entire site is equipped with CCTV cameras. Individual protective equipment, such as helmets, safety glasses, safety boots, and specially designed working clothes should be worn at all times while on the premises, except in the administration's office. In the company's laboratories, safety boots and goggles with side shields should be worn. For some activities, and depending on the nature of your work here, additional protective clothing should be worn. Protective gloves, respiratory masks, as well as airtight goggles and visors to protect your eyes from spills, splashes, or chemicals that might come into contact with your face. All this equipment is available at the watchman's booth. It should be in good condition and comply with the current safety standards. Alcoholic beverages are strictly prohibited on site. You must obtain the director's authorization before using a camera or a camcorder. Personal GSM cell phones and mobile phones are forbidden except in the office. Smoking is not allowed on site except in separate smoking areas. While walking around on site, you should use the blue lanes and the zebra crossings. The French highway code applies on the premises and the speed limit has been established at 15 km per hour. Never block the access roads or park your vehicle in front of the emergency exits or firefighting equipment. Be careful of lift trucks and their drivers' reduced forward visibility. Know the location of the fire extinguishers, emergency exits and safety showers in your work area. Should you notice any suspicious smell of smoke, any unusual flow of a chemical substance, call the Responsable Permanence Site on-site safety supervisor immediately by dialing the following number 1515 from any telephone on the premises. Any dangerous activity should be reported to the safety supervisor. In the event of a toxic leakage or a fire that you cannot stop on your own, trigger the nearest fire alarm bell and call the safety supervisor. Should anyone get involved in an accident or feel faint, call the safety supervisor by dialing 1515 as well as the first aid workers present on the premises. You will recognize them by the following badge. If somebody gets burnt or comes into contact with a hazardous chemical or biological substance, remove contaminated clothing and rinse all the parts of the body that were in contact with the dangerous substance with water for 15 minutes. Moreover, monitoring safety devices will warn you of any risk of explosion, toxicity or asphyxia in the area you work in. When the siren goes off for 10 seconds 3 times in a row, you must stop working and secure your equipment. In case of a suspicious smell, put on a respiratory mask. If you're driving a vehicle, pull over to the side of the road to let the rescue team or firefighters get through. Turn off the engine, but leave the keys in the car. Then, walk to the predetermined meeting point of the establishment, the watchman's booth, in an orderly manner. The end of the alert is a continuous signal lasting 30 seconds. Once you've heard it, you may go back to work. The warning signal system is tested every Friday at 2 p.m. The population warning is made via air raid siren. The signal consists of a modulated sound going up and down during the first minute and repeated 3 times. The population warning signal system is tested the first Wednesday of every month at 12:30 p.m. Don't perform a task for which you're not fully qualified. You must obtain specific authorizations to drive and handle lift trucks or crane trucks, to have access to electrical installations and use full-face respirators. A specific authorization should be granted to you by a duly authorized SEPPIC worker for any maintenance operation on the premises. This authorization is only available for the operations agreed upon for half-day periods. Any change from what had originally been specified should be subjected to approval by a duly authorized SEPPIC worker. Under certain circumstances, specific authorization must be granted prior to beginning heavy work. The issuance of a hot work permit is required prior to undertaking any operation such as welding, soldering, or grinding, which generates localized hotspots. Following the ATEX directive, this permit is also required prior to using normally prohibited material in hazardous areas where potentially explosive atmospheres may occur. Here is the warning sign for such areas. Confined spaces such as reactors, vats, tanks, or sewer systems are considered permit-required confined spaces and therefore need a permit for entry. A specific permit is also required for maintenance work on pipes that contained hazardous products such as toxic, corrosive, or flammable substances. Shutting off electrical power and chemical installations might be necessary prior to beginning maintenance work. These operations should be carried out by duly authorized personnel. All power cuts should be properly logged into a logbook kept at SEPPIC's electrical services for that purpose. Finally, we attach great importance to safety measures for workers who have to work above the ground. These safety measures must be approved of by the company for any worker working at heights of 2 meters or higher above the ground. Remember that any change from what had originally been specified should be subjected to approval by a duly authorized SEPPIC worker. Some products must be handled with care. Labels on the products inform you of the nature of the risk and the precautions to take. Read them carefully. There are flammable, explosive and oxidizing products, products which are harmful to the environment, irritant, corrosive, harmful or toxic materials. At the end of your work day, you must clean and tidy up your workroom or lab bench. Wastes must be collected, sorted and disposed of in the corresponding waste containers. Our establishment attaches great importance to environmental protection and has been awarded the ISO 14001 certification.
Remember to always think before you act. If you don't know what to do, ask to your superiors for some advice. Don't act if you are uncertain about something, and don't forget, safety requires a constant vigilance. Thank you for your attention.
And now, you'll be asked to answer 10 questions to assess your knowledge of safety measures. Please note that once you've submitted an answer, you won't be able to come back to it or modify it. Besides, some questions are disqualifying. You may use the mouse and keyboard to answer the questions. If you successfully pass the test, you'll be given an authorization to have access to the company.